Welcome, everyone. Let's get started. Before we begin, we would like to acknowledge the Coast Salish peoples of this land, the land which touches the shared waters of all tribes and bands within the Suquamish, Tulalip, and Muckleshoot nations. We would also like to pay respect to the elders past and present and extend that respect to other Indigenous peoples present. Welcome to the 31st Annual Commencement Ceremony, Part 1 of the University of Washington Bothell. I am Jason Naranjo. I am an associate teaching professor in the School of Educational Studies and chair of the General Faculty Organization. It is my esteemed honor to serve as your Grand Marshal today. At this ceremony, we welcome all family members and friends, faculty and staff to celebrate with the classes of 2022, 2021, and 2020 from the Schools of Interdisciplinary Arts and Sciences, Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics. Later today, we will celebrate those from the Schools of Business, Educational Studies, and Nursing and Health Studies. Please rise for the national anthem performed by Denite Fashayazan, who was graduating later today with her Bachelor's of Arts in Business Administration.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets spread glare, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the lands of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Denite. I now have the honor of introducing the Chancellor of the University of Washington Bothell, Dr. Kristen Esterberg.
Thank you, Dr. Naranjo. To our class of 2022, distinguished guests, faculty, staff, family members, and friends, welcome to this most extraordinary day. Extraordinary for many reasons. I am so pleased to gather with you in person to celebrate this important milestone that graduates from the classes of 2021 and 2020, who graciously accepted having virtual ceremonies during the pandemic, are here with us, makes it that much more special and demonstrates the beloved community that comprises UW Bothell. The University of Washington has 3 unique campuses in Seattle, in Tacoma, and of course our campus in Bothell. Woo! Ultimate responsibility for these campuses rests with the 10 members of the University of Washington Board of Regents. These dedicated people devote tremendous skill, passion, and time each year to the university. 6 of them are with us here this afternoon. Please hold your applause until our regents have all been introduced. Dealey Barisha, the first UW Bothell to serve as student regent. Leonore Fuller, Libby McPhee, Rogelius Riojas, Blaine Tamaki, chair of the board, and David Zeke. It is a privilege to introduce our next guest. She leads our tri-campus university with fierce passion, profound integrity, and a caring heart. She is a true partner in the success of our Bothell campus, and it is such an honor to work with her. The president of the University of Washington, Dr. Anna Mari Kausi. I would like to introduce some members of our leadership team who are with us today. Dr. Sharon A. Jones, Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs. Rebecca Bloom, Vice Chancellor for Advancement. Dr. Scott James, Vice Chancellor for Enrollment Management and Student Affairs. Dr. Caroline Titan, Assistant Vice Chancellor for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. Dr. Leslie Cornick, Dean of the School of STEM. Dr. Shari Dworkin, Dean of the School of Nursing and Health Studies. Dr. Ed Buendia, Dean of the School of Educational Studies. Dr. Sandeep Krishnamurthy, Dean of the School of Business. Dr. Cinnamon Hilliard, Associate Vice Chancellor and Dean for Student Success. Dr. Tim Wilson, Dean of Students. Carolyn Brennan, Assistant Vice Chancellor for Research and Connected Learning. Leslie Hurst, Interim Associate Dean and Director of University Libraries. James Archer, President of the Associated Students of the University of Washington, Bothell. Dr. Stephanie Iverson Cabral, Assistant Teaching Professor in the School of Nursing and Health Studies. Dr. Alaren Lewis, Associate Teaching Professor in the School of STEM. Dr. Jason Naranjo, whom you met earlier. And finally, I would like to recognize our keynote speaker. He is a UW Bothell alumnus and lecturer, commencement speaker, Dr. Justin Gill. Now let's meet today's graduates. Let me first tell you a bit about the class of 2022, which is 2,110 students strong. They are an accomplished group. There are 1,910 students receiving baccalaureate degrees and 200 receiving master's degrees today. 24 students will receive their license to teach in Washington State. From the School of Interdisciplinary Arts and Sciences, we have 483 students receiving either their Bachelor of Arts or Bachelor of Science, and 14 graduate students receiving their Master of Arts or Master of Fine Arts. From the School of STEM, we have 643 students receiving either their Bachelor of Arts or Bachelor of Science, and 66 students receiving their Master of Science. At the end of our 31st commencement ceremonies today, along with the graduates of 2021 and 2020, the class of 2022 will be among more than 29,000 UW Bothell alumni. Well done. Our graduates from 2022, 2021, and 2020 are diverse in every way you can imagine. And I'd like to address the graduates. You range in age from 17 years old to 71 years young. Yeah. You hail from as close as Bothell to as far away as South Africa. Several hundred of you participated in the Heritage Fair last month, where you proudly displayed your culture, your lived experience, and your multiple identities. Some of you at that heartwarming event who are here now are part of a valued community at UW Bothell, our dreamers. Today is the 10th anniversary of the DACA program, and I want to acknowledge your determination to complete your degree despite uncertainty. You have added a rich diversity of experiences to our campus culture, and we are better for it. In the classes of 2022, 2021, and 2020, 1,081 of you are the first in your family to get a 4-year college degree. That's in recognition of you. I want each of you to see that you are in good company, to see that you will always share the common bond of being part of UW Bothell during these very unique years. If you are the first in your family to receive a 4-year degree, will you please rise and look around at the company you keep? Please stay standing. Please stay standing, if you will. Please stay standing. If you are a veteran of the military, please stay standing, our first-generation students, please. I'm asking you, politely. If you're a veteran of the military and are graduating today, thank you for your service. Would you please stand, salute one another, and stay standing, please? Yeah. Now, if you raised a family while studying for your degree, please stand, congratulate all the other exhausted and ecstatic parents, and please stay standing to all the families. If you cared for a loved one during the pandemic and you are crossing the stage today, please stand, be recognized for your heart, and please stay standing. If there were mornings when you got up to turn on your computer for another Zoom session, when all you wanted to do was take the day off and forget your responsibilities, please stand. Know that we stand with you. And students, if you overcame any challenge, small or big, to take your rightful place on stage today, please stand and acknowledge that you did something extraordinary to keep your commitment to education. Family members and friends, faculty and staff, I present to you the graduating students of the classes of 2022, 2021, and 2020. Well done. You can be seated now, please. Now, when I arrived on campus last October, I wrote 3 words on my whiteboard: equity, fairness, and students. I've looked at those words every day since to ensure that our entire campus community could support you in having the best possible experience at UW Bothell. Are we centering the needs of students? Are we striving to be fair and equitable to everyone in our community? How can looking through an equity lens sharpen our work? These are the questions we asked ourselves as we continue to transition from remote operations back to campus. Now, I'm certain you've had your own questions every day for the past 820 days since we went virtual. How on earth am I going to focus when my siblings and parents are all studying or working from home at the same time? How will I get my project done when I don't have all the tools I need at home? Am I going to graduate? Not to mention the question that we all shared. Am I or someone I love going to get COVID-19? There was absolutely nothing that could have prepared you for the additional challenges you would face beyond the already monumental task of getting your degree, dealing every day with the uncertainties of a global pandemic, managing the societal upheaval and injustices exacerbated by the murder of George Floyd and too many others. I want to acknowledge that many of you have been especially affected by that tragedy and the unrest that followed, and even now, continual mass shootings that have resulted in the senseless loss of too many lives. You are graduating today despite, perhaps because of, these epic and historic challenges. And I can't emphasize enough how extraordinary that is, how extraordinary you are. I want to take time right now to pause and recognize what you have accomplished. Family members, friends, please join us for a quiet moment to acknowledge your support of your graduate. Magnificent, amazing, inspiring. These are the words that come up for me when I think of you. Who else but someone magnificent, amazing, inspiring would, despite the conditions, hike 6 miles up an abandoned logging road to research the one lake in the entire state where Arctic graylings still spawn, work with a nonprofit halfway around the world in India to compare and contrast social issues and produce an online arts festival that featured their work, feed sea anemones with a tiny dropper so research on embryonic development could continue, facilitate the evacuation of American citizens in Afghanistan, and help Afghan allies to rebuild a new life in a foreign country. Magnificent, amazing, inspiring. You are well prepared for what is ahead. Through your course of study, you have not only gained academic knowledge and the skills to get a job in your field, you have also gained the skills to think critically, a skill that is more than ever needed in this world. You are well poised to make a difference in our community, in our region, and in our world. And so as you leave here today, I hope you know that you will always be a part of the UW Bothell community. You will always have a place here, and you can always return to share your experiences with students who come after you. Just as you have benefited from those who came before, you have the opportunity to pay it forward. Family, friends, faculty, and staff who celebrate with you today, those here, near, and far, you are here because they have supported and, in turn, inspired you to get your degree. You have done the heavy lifting, and they have propped you up. You are magnificent, amazing, inspiring. In closing, I'd like to borrow some remarks from Fred Rogers, that Fred Rogers from Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, the one show I could watch as a young person. It was a long time ago. when he accepted the Lifetime Achievement Award from the Academy of Television Arts and Sciences. He is also someone who inspires quiet awe. Mr. Rogers said, "All of us have special ones who have loved us into being. Would you just take, along with me, 10 seconds to think of the people who have helped you become who you are, those who have cared about you and wanted what was best for you in life?" 10 seconds of silence. I'll watch the time. Whoever you've been thinking about, how pleased they must be to know the difference you feel they've made. And if you don't think they know, I hope you'll take the time to tell them soon. Thank you for being part of the UW Bothell community. Thank you for inspiring me. Thank you for the difference you have made in my life. And thank you for the difference you will make in this world. Well done, graduates. Now, James Archer is the president of the Associated Students of the University of Washington, Bothell. It has been my pleasure to work with him on several initiatives this past year. Would you please join me in welcoming Archer to the podium and thanking him for his work?
This is exactly how I imagined it a year ago, and it's breathtaking. Husky family, class of 2022, this is our day. Today is the day we look back on every assignment, every class, every exam, and take a deep breath and smile. Because it is finally over. And to those joining us from the classes of 2020 and 2021, like Borna Borhani, we welcome you. For today is the day we celebrate what we have accomplished at the University of Washington, Bothell. Yeah, all right. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Today is the day we hear an excellent speech from an excellent speaker and wonder, when is he going to wrap this thing up? Joking aside, because this is definitely not the best speech you're going to hear today, or ever, really. Many of you are too humble and are likely thinking, I didn't do anything extraordinary. I don't deserve all of this. And I have to say, you could not be further from the truth. You can tell I did not memorize this speech. As your student body president, I've witnessed firsthand how this community rose to take on each and every challenge that presented itself. Not only this year, mind you, as each year any academic institution comes with its fair share of trials and tribulations. In the 2020 to 21 academic year, we pivoted to fully remote instruction and navigated through our courses during historic times. Okay. I seem to be missing a page. I will work with this. I will work with this. We will pivot here as well. we will pivot here as well. Oh my God. Oh no, wait, is there another page? Is it on the back? Oh no, okay, I'll take this page. Okay, well, apparently I should have memorized this speech. Is it on the other side maybe? Okay. I don't know. I'm just going to go from where it is, and if it doesn't make sense, then I don't know, Google it. I want everybody in this room to remember how life came and pushed you down. Pushed you down, and you got back up. You brushed yourself off and kept moving forward. Okay, I'm going to read from this other page. I'm so sorry. Is it over here? I don't know. I was concerned about connecting with my community, with my peers, faculty, and staff, when all I had to work with were little black squares with their microphones off. Instead of walking out the door to head to campus, I walked to my living room and sat in front of a computer screen to learn about physics and organic chemistry. Not a huge fan of organic chemistry. I felt like a fraud when people asked, "What school are you going to?" And I answered, technically UW Bothell. Something that, looking back before the pandemic and remote learning, I would have said proudly, without a second thought. It felt like we were in a constant state of limbo, and not like this type. I don't know, I think that's too old now. Neither moving forward nor backward, and it was terrifying. But through it all, here we all are together. Thank you for the one clap, I appreciate it. Let's go, all right, there it is. I stand among you thankful to each and every person here today for making my experience at UW Bothell an incredible one. Everyone here and everyone who will one day sit where you sit are responsible for making this community stand out as one of the most diverse and caring and unique campus communities, not just in this country, but in the world. I know that sounds cliche, but I truly mean that. Looking to the future, there are more obstacles to come still. Challenges will continue to arise, attempting to hold you back in your lives and careers. Meet these trials with a smile, with confidence. No obstacle is too great for you because you have faced so much already. And in the moments you feel overwhelmed, like, I don't know, you're missing a page from your speech at commencement, like you can't do it. No, I can do it. Like you can't do it. Remember this moment. Think of the mountain you climbed and the view when you finally reached the top. Never forget it was you, and you, and you, and you, and you get the point. It was you who climbed that mountain. Sure enough, you didn't do it alone. As for all this full stage we have up here, all the audience, you did not do it alone, but you are largely the master of your own destiny. But having control over your destiny is a double-edged sword. It cuts both ways, whether it's positive or negative. The beauty in life is everyone can be amazing, but we have to choose to be amazing. And my dad helped me write that part, so I appreciate it. Woo! I've learned in my schooling here, you have to cite your sources, so that's why I included that. To end off, in my first speech as ASUW president at the beginning of the year, when addressing the next wave of incoming students, I said, end quote, "This will be a challenging year, which means it will be a great year." Next page. Yeah, all right, yeah, I heard some claps, let's come on. All right, yeah, that's it, yeah, all right. To paraphrase the late, great Sean Connery, I'm a huge James Bond fan, there is nothing like a challenge to bring out the best in humanity. Looking back, I am a psychic. I must be a psychic or something because this was one of the most challenging, but one of the greatest years. And it is up to all of you to make every year from here on even greater. Thank you so much for everything that you've done. Woo!
Thank you, Archer. and thank you again for your leadership this past year. As part of our commencement ceremony, we recognize recipients of some annual awards. I now invite Dr. Sharon A. Jones, Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, to present the award for our most distinguished faculty of 2022.
First, I would like to recognize and thank all of our faculty who've prepared the students in the classes of 2022, 2021, and 2020 to succeed. Thank you. Our faculty's expertise, their commitment to outstanding teaching, their ability to bring their knowledge and their research into the classroom and out into the field, all of their work after hours supporting our students, and their many collaborations with each other, with our staff, and with the students themselves have made this milestone graduation day possible. As is tradition, each year we present the Distinguished Teaching Award to a faculty member with a particularly outstanding record of teaching at UW Bothell in the last year. The honoree is nominated by students and colleagues, and the award is conferred by University President Kause. This year's recipient learned the importance of being a flexible and a creative educator early in her teaching career. These characteristics are very much at work as she engages each and every student, regardless of interest, major, or background, and makes adjustments when needed to better serve them. She places a strong emphasis on meeting students where they are at and being resourceful. As one student put it, she seems to be genuinely concerned with whether I understand the subject, but also whether I am growing from learning about that subject. By doing this, she cultivates a bond of trust and inspires me to want to do my best. It is with great pleasure that I congratulate Dr. Stephanie Iverson Cabral, Assistant Teaching Professor in the School of Nursing and Health Studies. I was supposed to say, please join me in a round of applause for Dr. Iverson Cabral.
Thank you, Dr. Jones, and congratulations, Dr. Iverson Cabral. And now we honor several students with annual awards. The first is the Chancellor's Medal. This award is presented to graduating students whose commitment to learning and overcoming obstacles is a source of inspiration to other students and our campus community. Today, we are also pleased to have a Chancellor's Medal recipient from the class of 2020. We'll begin with Midia De Sousa, who graduated with a double major in law, economics, and public policy, and in media and communication studies with a minor in human rights. Let's learn more about Midia.
UW Bothell was amazing, and I always say Bothell is the best campus. Sorry, everybody else. But I am originally from Brazil, but grew up in Georgia and moved to the Seattle area for better opportunities, better quality of life. There were many times where I felt like I wasn't going to be able to graduate college, but I had a wonderful support system. My family was a big part of that. My professors, my peers, and even my advisor, Nee. Their constant belief in me kind of pushed me to not give up on myself. Co-founding the Huskies Dream Team was really important to me. It was a place where DACA recipients and undocumented students could come and feel safe, but also could have a sense of well-being and connection. The UW Human Rights Seminar was probably the highlight of my time at UW Bothell. It gave me a really eye-opening experience, I would say, being in rooms where I didn't think I would be. It really validated my interest in human rights. Since graduating in 2020, I now work as a criminal justice project manager for the executive office of King County. I think it's important that people from all walks of life have a role in government and policy, and so I do think that my background and my upbringing as an immigrant, as a first-gen student, really helped me to look at people for what they can be if we gave them the support systems, because I think that made all the difference for me. To be named Chancellor's Medalist, I really feel honored, honestly. It's really important to me as a first-generation student to have gotten this award because it shows that, if you keep pushing through, you'll eventually be rewarded. It just is really validating and really special. Yeah. I'm about to cry, y'all.
Thank you for joining us today, media, and congratulations. The first recipient of the 2022 Chancellor's Medal is Noor Abdul Hamid, graduating today with a Bachelor of Science in Biology. Let's learn more about Noor.
I was born in Iraq, and I lived there until I was about 6 years old. Unfortunately, a lot of my early upbringing was, in the midst of the war in Iraq, and we were given only 2 weeks to leave the country. And so we had no choice, and we left behind the only place we'd ever considered home. My first day of school in America, I was just really in awe and just overwhelmed. And I remember my first achievement was just counting to 100 in English. When we came here, my mom had to sacrifice her career to raise me and my siblings, where my father had to reevaluate and restudy his entire medical degree from scratch. Just seeing the sacrifices of my mother and the diligence of my father and just my nationality and identity, I think I'm always going to be proud to be an Iraqi. I think overall that and my parents is what inspired me in my journey here. What's nice about UW Bothell is this is a place where I knew that I could just grow, learn, and just pursue what I wanted. There is an opportunity to get involved and do whatever you're interested in. A lot of what inspired me to go into medicine were a lot of my experiences. I worked as a home health aide for senior patients, and I got to talk to these patients for hours about just navigating the healthcare system across various cultural and linguistic barriers. And I remember this one patient who just expressed relief that an immigrant was caring for her health. At that moment, I realized I was fulfilling a vital purpose, and I wanted just to devote my time focusing on limiting these barriers to patient-provider relations. As an Arab, as a woman, as a Muslim, an immigrant, I want to be outspoken about these marginalized populations and just want to build these responsive systems that address patient accessibility. After graduation, I plan to attend medical school at the University of Toledo College of Medicine this upcoming fall. Once I got my medical school acceptance, my parents, they were just very ecstatic, very happy for me, and just super proud of their, immigrant daughter making it here. You don't see a lot of Iraqis or Iraqi women, especially in medical school or the healthcare field.
Congratulations, Noor. We send you off to medical school next month with our very best wishes. The second recipient of the 2022 Chancellor's Medal is Deely Barisha, also graduating today with a Bachelor of Science in Biology, with minors in Chemistry and in Diversity Studies. Let's learn more about Deely.
Just the process of getting into college was challenging, but college affordability was a big problem for me and my family, specifically because in the middle school years, we were displaced. I really wasn't sure where or how the whole college plan would play out. So UW Bothell has just been truly a blessing. I really made it my mission to make the most of my time here at UW Bothell, which for me meant taking advantage of every opportunity and saying yes to a lot of different things. Things like research, student government, leadership, academics. It all just made me a more well-rounded student. I think throughout my time in student government, being a leader and a student body president, and now as a student regent, I'm really proud of the fact that I got to advocate for this transformative experience. And I think that I have definitely found that transformative student experience for myself. I hate to say it, but I think that I was a pretty arrogant kid as a freshman. But what a transformative student experience does is really instills the concept of lifelong learning, engagement with your community and your peers, a more kind of deeper sense of belonging. The person that's made me now is a more insightful and caring person. I was really honored to receive recognition and be named to this year's Husky 100 cohort. And it was extremely gratifying for me to be awarded the Mary Gates Research Scholarship. My research project at the Institute of Stem Cells and Regenerative Medicine really focuses on understanding underlying mechanisms for heart disease. I think being a doctor was something that I always wanted to become. Post-graduation, I'm studying for my MCAT and starting to begin the application process for medical school. I really want to focus on health equity and giving the best care possible to communities who do not currently seek out healthcare. The UW Bothell community is purely amazing. This community makes it so easy and welcoming for students to get involved, and it's truly a beautiful place for students to learn and belong.
Congratulations, Deely. We wish you well as you research medical technologies and treatments. The third 2022 Chancellor's Medal will be presented to Ash Sacedo at the second commencement ceremony. She is graduating today with a Bachelor of Arts in Educational Studies with an emphasis on elementary education. The second student award is the President's Medal, which goes to the graduating senior with the most distinguished academic record, taking into consideration courses taken, honors and awards, research and publications, as well as future plans. I would like to invite President Kelsey to the lectern to present the President's Medal.
It's my honor to present the President's Medal to Yusuf Beltagi, who is graduating summa cum laude with a bachelor's degree in computer engineering with a minor in mathematics. Let's learn more about Yusuf.
I am an international student. I was born in Saudi Arabia, but I'm Egyptian. I came to the US in 2017. One unique challenge as an international student is very few people here who are truly close to you. But because UW Bothell has diverse students, I did not feel out of place. I have a passion for maximizing the amount of information that I can take from a course. I didn't do well in high school, and there was this huge and really uncontrollable feeling of regret. So during my stay at UW Bothell, I wanted to avoid repeating the same mistakes. Each course I take, I will drain as much of it as I can. When I was young, I wanted to be a scientist, and I was prejudiced against computer science because, all of the geek movies made me feel like they're geeks. But when I took my first computer science courses, I really liked it. I like computer engineering because I want to work on things that improve people's lives. My favorite memory during my time at UW Bothell is definitely my capstone. I worked on a smart asthma inhaler. After presenting it in the undergraduate research symposium, we won the Population Health Award. It was definitely motivating to work on a project that would hopefully go out into the market and improve a lot of people's lives. When I learned I received the President's Medal, it was a cathartic feeling. I felt like my time at UW Bothell was well spent.
Congratulations, Yusuf. We wish you the very best in your career as a software engineer and in your pursuit of your master's degree in cybersecurity. Hello, graduates, and congratulations. Whether you're graduating today as a member of the class of 2022, or you're a returning graduate from the classes of 2020 or 2021, we are so proud of you all. And we're so grateful to be able to be here together to honor your incredible accomplishments in earning your diplomas. Whether you accepted your offer of admission to UW Bothell, when you accepted your offer of admission to UW Bothell, you couldn't have predicted the unprecedented and tumultuous events that would occur while you earned your degree. Nobody could have imagined what we've been through. But not only did you navigate the challenges of the pandemic, but you also went through really traumatic events that changed society and that were really brought into very deep relief just how much inequities continue to persist in society and how much work we together have to do to overcome them. Through long months, even years of uncertainty, you persevered. The pandemic may have shaped your UW experience, but it was your response to all of these challenges that defines and distinguishes you. The resilience, determination, and grace that you showed throughout your time at the UW is part of who you are, and it's one of the reasons why I join Chancellor Esterberg in being so deeply proud and inspired by all of you. Yes, the challenges don't end here. There will be more challenges and opportunities ahead of you. So remember this day and all that you accomplished to reach it, and know that you have enormous reserves of strength, grit, and capacity to meet any challenges that you will encounter, and to make the most of all the opportunities that will come your way. The impact that you have will be extraordinary. As graduates of the School of Interdisciplinary Arts and Sciences, the School of Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics, you have countless paths before you and countless ways in which you will make a difference in the world that you are entering. Your lives are brimming with opportunity, and we can't wait to see what you do with them. And know, whatever you do with this incredible potential, the UW Bothell is proud to have been a part of your journey. And I hope that you will infuse all that you do with the values that we celebrate as an academic community: empathy, curiosity, integrity. Each of you has the makings of a leader, and I hope you will lead in ways that contribute to a more equitable and sustainable future. And to the parents and families, chosen families, friends, thank you for being here, and thank you for all that you've done to make their achievement possible. It takes a village. And please know, their success is also your success, and you are now part of our Husky family. And graduates, we are now proud to call you alumni. And your university will always be here for you. Wherever your life takes you, we will always be proud to call you Huskies. Congratulations, UW Bothell, classes of 2020, 2021, and 2022.
And now, it is time for some words of wisdom and inspiration from our commencement speaker. When you cross the stage today, you will be joining Dr. Justin Gill as an alumnus of UW Bothell. Dr. Gill received his Bachelor of Science in Nursing from our School of Nursing and Health Studies 9 years ago, and went on to receive his Doctor of Nursing Practice from Yale University. As I said earlier, you can always return to UW Bothell to share your experiences with students. Dr. Gill did more than that. He is now sharing his knowledge as a lecturer at the school, teaching courses on health policy and leadership and mentoring future nurses. Among several volunteer engagements, he is the Vice President for the Washington State Nurses Association Board of Directors and is often called upon by national news organizations to contribute to stories on healthcare and policy issues. At a time when healthcare workers are leading us through a pandemic, please join me in welcoming UW Bothell alumnus, lecturer, and commencement speaker, Dr. Justin Gill.
All right. Thank you, Chancellor Esterberg, President Kelsey, Board of Regents, faculty, family, friends, and graduates. I'm deeply honored by the privilege of speaking with you all today on such an important milestone for all of you, the university, and our community. Today has been an overdue celebration for multiple cohorts of graduates. I remember the joy and sense of accomplishment that you're all experiencing today. As mentioned previously, I am a proud UW Bothell alum and still call UW Bothell home by teaching students in the School of Nursing and Health Studies. I'm sure that many of you are aware, but the last 2.5 years have been a little complicated, right? All students in this and their families in this room have been impacted by COVID-19, as well as economic, political unrest, and some pretty intense social debates. And this is all while trying to manage the already high level of stress that comes with pursuing a higher education. The fact that all of you here are here today successfully graduating is an accomplishment on its own, and it deserves the highest recognition. It's easy to see how our economic, political, and institutional dysfunction can lead to pessimism and apathy. And in a contrast to this, I would say that all of you in this room offer something much more powerful and influential, and that's hope. Initially, when I graduated high school, I chose my community college in California, and in the beginning, I wanted to pursue a career in political science and law. And during the start of my college education, the nation was grappling with the consequences of a crippling 2008 recession. And the issue of economic security, health disparities, and healthcare access was in the spotlight. At this time, I was exposed to some of the issues and extensive need and demand in healthcare. I had the opportunity to listen and shadow some family and friends that chose nursing as a profession. Unexpectedly, I immediately fell in love with the profession and changed my major. While I was continuing with my career in healthcare and going to graduate school, I still had a passion for activism and political advocacy, specifically around issues related to healthcare and the social determinants of health. Through my work with state and national nursing organizations, I was able to utilize this passion in a way that worked well for me. The reason why I bring this story up is because I've learned that life will not always follow a linear path. There are times where you will have to reconcile with a personal, professional, or even nationwide crisis. Where you may plan to be in 5 years may be completely different from what eventually happens, but know that it might be potentially better than initially expected. Growing up, I always struggled with the idea of what success meant. And it's easy to say that those that have achieved success might be well off financially or a prominent public figure. But in my experience as a clinician, student, and faculty member, I've learned that success is better described by one's ability to recognize challenges or unexpected events and work through them to come out stronger on the other side. As all of you move forward from your time here at UW Bothell, I want to offer 3 areas of reflection that I think will serve you well as you navigate through your future. The first is a commitment to communication and diversity of opinion. My ability to care for patients and work with them directly is impacted by how well I'm able to actually listen to others and better understand their perspectives. By listening and meeting people where they are, or somewhere near that, there's an increased likelihood of establishing trust. While I still continue to improve on this skill, it's allowed me to be a better healthcare provider. Innovations in social media and online platforms have provided our society with some benefits, but it's also served as a platform for hate and division. The pandemic has reminded us that we are connected in more ways than we initially realize, and that we will all have a role to play in our communities. It's also highlighted the fact that on an even playing field, if everything is created equal, the virus can infect people regardless of where they come from, the amount of money that they make, the color of their skin, who they voted for, or who they love. Know that your ability to communicate respectfully, negotiate, and yes, even disagree is a sign of strength, not weakness. Disagreement can, in fact, be a healthy thing if we don't attribute it to a personal attack and assume positive intent amongst our peers. Listening and truly listening to someone else instead of waiting to say something that was already predetermined allows us to connect with one another in a much more impactful way. Communication and relationships, not division or ideological seclusion, builds bridges and allows us to recognize each other's inherent dignity and humanity. It's also important to note that building relationships with only people that we agree with will likely do very little to facilitate any meaningful change. I'd encourage all of you to branch out and continue conversations with people, even amongst those that you disagree with. The second area that I see as a challenge of our time includes both the use and misuse of information. While COVID seems to have unveiled misinformation more significantly, it's been present for much longer than that. The availability and instant access to information can be a great thing to help us learn and grow, but it also can serve as a source for false information that can lead to potentially dangerous consequences. And as a nurse practitioner, I've been on the other side of those dangerous consequences sometimes. In my clinical role, every day is a surprise. I might start my day with an ill infant and a concerned parent, may see another patient with a migraine headache, and potentially end my day dealing with a patient and helping them through a mental health crisis. While these experiences are clinically challenging and require a good amount of base knowledge, they support my core belief that the ability to find answers to problems in an accurate and efficient way is a far better goal than trying to know everything. The appropriate use and attainment of knowledge will continue to be a pressing issue for all of us, regardless of the profession. Because of your education at this university, you've been given the foundation for learning and how to find or identify accurate information. This foundation is not all-inclusive, though. It will require continued mindfulness as you start the next chapters of your personal and professional lives. The third area that I feel will serve as a pressing issue for all of us focuses on bias and the acknowledgement of reality. For too long, acknowledging what is fact or reality has become less clear in our public discourse. Just because an issue may be uncomfortable or ignored, it does not mean that it is absent. Unfortunately, throughout the pandemic, a sober, unbiased assessment of reality has been unfairly associated with weakness and fear. I would argue the direct opposite of that assumption. Being able to recognize the uncomfortable realities of our society enables us to actually address them so we can move forward. It's a sign of strength, determination, and courage. My ask is that all of you carry this sense of bravery into the world as you become our future business innovators, political leaders, frontline healthcare providers, and professionals. Don't look away from our challenges, but instead see them for what they are and challenge them head on. I'm reminded of a quote from Swiss physicist Heinrich Rohrer that I think truly speaks to the issues around reality and fallacy over the past 2.5 years. He says, quote, "Science means constantly walking a tightrope between blind faith and curiosity, between expertise and creativity, between bias and openness, between experience and epiphany, between ambition and passion, between arrogance and conviction, in short, between an old today and a new tomorrow." By seeing all of you here today, I couldn't be more optimistic about our future. I look forward to having you all join me as proud alums of the University of Washington Bothell, and I'm excited to see how all of you will shape a more equitable and resilient world. Once again, I'm humbled by the opportunity to join you on such an important day, and I encourage you all to enjoy this moment by celebrating with your family and friends. Be safe, be well. Congratulations to the class of 2020, 2021, and 2022.
Dr. Gill, on behalf of the University of Washington Bothell and the classes of 2022, 2021, and 2020, thank you for sharing your wisdom and inspiring us this afternoon. And thank you for your leadership on healthcare policy. At this time, I would like to bring President Kelsey back to the podium.
Everybody, are we ready? The time has now come to award the degrees. Dr. Sharon A. Jones, Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, will present the candidates for the master's degrees, and they will be conferred by Regent Tamaki.
Will the master's candidates in the schools of Interdisciplinary Arts and Sciences and Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics please rise? Regent Tamaki, I am honored to present these master's degree candidates from the schools of Interdisciplinary Arts and Sciences and Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics. I recommend that all who have fulfilled the requirements prescribed by the graduate faculty of the University of Washington Bothell be awarded their master's degrees.
Thank you so much. On behalf of the Board of Regents and the outstanding faculty of the University of Washington Bothell, I am so pleased to confer upon each of you your respective master's degrees from the School of Interdisciplinary Arts and Sciences and the School of Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics. Congratulations. We are so proud of you and your accomplishments. You will be presented with a memento of this commencement ceremony.
Master's candidates from the School of Interdisciplinary Arts and Sciences.
Savita Krishnamurthy.
Maria Janet Morales. Sam S. Prudente. Master's candidates from the School of Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics. Jack Fan.
Navjot Singh Delone. Asveen Kaur. Brett Bearden.
Meenakshi Sethunath. Craig Katsuhiko Rainey. Kulud Abdulbasit Sanyor.
Situ Agarwal.
Sanjusha Kimukurthi.
Ishpreet Talwar. Pallavi Sharma.
Yasha Sweeney Jayashankar. Purnima Dayanandam. Manali Cobragade. Saili Bimrao Kudale. Dat Tien Lee. Emily Shu. Apurva Bhatnagar. Pratik Goswami.
Sukriti Tiwari.
Kivshaka Aman Shahari.
Nirali Gundecha alias Nirali Karan Kotari.
Tianhui Nie.
Yan Hong. Neha Kumari. Jignasha Bored. Pravina Avula. Sarika Ramesh Bahrambi. Ankita Chakraborty. Christian Daniel Dunham.
Matthew Robert Sell. Ilastar Wu.
Paul Beard Sr.
Rochelle Cafe Palting. Matthew Suhi. Ann H. Vu. Kinjal McQuan.
Pagyashri Jadav. Sharmila Devi Kanivelu.
Mito T. Tsvetkov. Akumbom Maliageng Tunyi. Anton Arkadovich Odorenko.
Men Yang.
Sirus Seifalian.
Will the bachelor's degree candidates in the schools of Interdisciplinary Arts and Sciences and Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics please rise? Regent Tamaki, I am honored to present these candidates from the schools of Interdisciplinary Arts and Sciences and Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics for the baccalaureate degree. I recommend that all who have fulfilled this degree requirements be awarded their degree.
Thank you again. On behalf of the Board of Regents, and again, recognizing the outstanding faculty of the University of Washington Bothell, I am pleased to confer upon each of you the bachelor's degree. Congratulations. We are so proud of your honor today. You will be presented with a memento of this commencement ceremony.
Bachelor's candidates from the School of Interdisciplinary Arts and Sciences.
Media de Souza. Alice L. Keogh.
Yulia Stadnik. Allison Renninger.
Yasmin Yacolin Carmona. Trisha Florentino. Emmanuel Joseph Pahati Gabrielle.
Jake Orweiler. David Paul Rugen.
Joshua Michael Kirkland Fisher. Kennedy S. Greer.
Desiree Barbara Terrell.
Olivia Bothell.
Betty D. Tasso.
Camille C. Itaki. Drew Thaddeus Lamb. Tu V. Chung.
Terry Fung.
Rena Marie Ernest. Daniel Leung.
Carlita N. Vilches.
Ahmed Defer.
Brock Tyner.
Joe Lolo.
Michelle Denise Reyes. Taya Wallenberg. Madeline Moeller.
Dane Christian.
Amanda Claire Hirsch. Jacqueline Mickey Frazier. Kyle Andrew Garcia. Ellie Madeline Henry. Jess Hughes Rodriguez. Mitchell Alva Campbell. Louise Xinghuan Chen.
Celestine Yu.
Hui Ming Ling. Hafsa Ali. Logan Cooper Herndon James Griffin.
Kate Lauren Schwartz.
Samuel Haddish Besrat.
Oksana Timkiv. Huang Nok Bao Nguyen. Wayne Teklu. Anthony Tan Pham Brem.
Stephen Luong.
Philip Wook Win.
Samuel Ju Wung Choi.
Sung Woo Nam. Victor Jun Min Sun. Chom Win. Matthew Pang.
Jeremiah David Acosta. Patrick Miguel Morales Abrigo.
Yung Kyung Oh.
Abdilash Singha.
Alondra Judith Mendez Guerrero.
Peyton Terrence Brady.
Anya Sudarkina. Kylie Weaver.
Carly Brianne Dubois.
Nok V. Mai.
Abby Kinaro.
Caitlin Ocampo. Wendy Shively. Spencer Onstadt.
Gui Jie Lu.
Chase Matthew Massaros.
Emily L. Fancher. Pei Wei Chung.
Kimberly Mendoza Hernandez. Serena Lu Trong.
Audrey Figgins. Caitlin Gregory.
Crystal Paulina Perez.
Matthew DeFonte.
Karen M. Romero Rivera. Brianna Nogales. Andrea Lauren Swanby.
Grayson Lever. Justin Dwayne Brave.
Frederick M. Nicholson. Christian Ryan Rodrigo. Nur Yusuf.
Noah Cole Carper.
Elisa Sigisi.
Unique Juar Awad Shah. Jacob Kelly Hall.
Kenny Makatran. Yong Hee Shin. Vashti Yebayan. Eva Lee Rue.
Noah Robert Bomar. Michaela Henney.
Few more years, yeah.
Justin Padrake McMahon. Jeet Singh Rupra.
Min Ju Lee. Nigel Irving Anders. Joshua Chun Yao Kong.
Abigail Ellen Van Nuys. Haley Christine Newman.
Havana Jordan Al-Qaderi.
Edwin Rabadan. Emily Jane Rice.
Scott Barry Ellers.
Trevor J. Windsor. Ziwan Pan.
Amani Ahmed Abudea. Samantha Maria Johnson.
Kristen Windsor Solberg.
Jack Doolittle.
Dylan Ulrich,
Leanne Hager,
Sharzad Tehrani, Fabiola Ruvalcaba,
Pick Chow,
Iran M. Mendoza Lopez, Sierra Sagos,
Martin R. Arriaga,
Olivia Levina Vaque, Emma Jean Perkins,
Darian Renee Boyer, Molly Karen Carey,
Katie Noel Medaglia, Melody Sierra,
Monty Amer, Sophie Francis Anderson,
Gavin Robinson Melendez, Karen Jolie Dawn Thornton, Alexa G. Modica,
Kylie Gardiner, Evie Arzola Colon, Annabelle Lee, Yishao Liu,
Faiz Umar,
Suhaib A. Ali,
Grady Vinton Seitz, Nancy Morales,
Elise Mary Evans, Andrew Tuan Huang, Kevin T. Lee,
Alec James Radliff, Eric Wu Rogers,
Grégoire Harionneau Durand, Saskia Gattuso,
Maseret Tumelison,
Cass Berlin, Brandon George, Christina Nicole Foster,
Unji Grace Yoon,
Heidi Marie Bachtel,
Lauren Michelle Michael,
Nicole Dominique LaBelle, Tobias Hope Young, Andrew Carlton Hogue, Wyatt Lynch,
Sarah Ott, Samek Segura,
Kimberly Michelle Kelly, Anthony Ivan Hernandez, Mustafa Bashir,
Brian Lee Tang, Isaac Nair, Sanika Shetty. Nabrat Sharif.
Evelyn May Minchhode Spengler.
Ilani Asia Owens.
Hana Gebramariam Abai.
Bianca Ramirez Tefilo.
Jackie Guzman Bedoya.
Habiba Youssef.
Mariam Ghani. Jessica Belmont. Lisa Nilsson Dockendorf.
Katie Ward.
Lexi Hansen. Jesse Gray Blair. Lissa Lee. Isadora Kaiulani Eads. Quentin D. Clark.
Brenda Manny.
Stephanie Lynette Greer.
Anna Souza. Gianara Janelle Martel Zalada. Miles McGruder.
Raymond Elijah Hardy. Ira Bianca Abiang Ellert.
Milena Sherman.
Deanna Enev. Brianna Elizabeth Guzman.
Julie Pham. Melissa Mew. Kelly Bao Wen Pham.
Deja Nadine Espiritu.
Justin Totan.
Curly Ann Lintz. Brianna T. Bowie.
Jeracia Malela Williams.
Nina Juval.
Ana Beatriz Maroquim Bita.
Sam Locke. Lauren Gabrielle Allen. Natalie Marguerite Gaston.
Nate Mullins. Abubakar Rator.
Omar Ali.
Michaela Joan Moore. Cynthia Ann Petricaro.
Diana Danoon.
Go ahead.
Beniza Fatima Malik.
Zainab Khan. Amara Khan. Anam Hussein. Natalie Elvrum.
Peyton Joy Denise McLeod.
Ifeyinwa Josephine Achulano.
Elizabeth Shah Neb Lee.
Ashley Christina Piscook. Alungwa Munkbatter.
Lisa Chung. Jessica Lee Liebenberg.
Brandon Sath.
Althea Iris Haug.
Chandel Orr.
Riwaz Kanal. Eber Guerrero Torres. Virginia Garcia. Aaron Cotton. Cody Floyd. William Hardman. Sana Diop.
Robert Solosi. Octavian Pop.
Cynthia Karki.
Natalie Soriano.
Marissa N. Lee. Abigail Hunter. Anthony B. Escarilla. Abdel Wahab Suhaib Ayun. Dagam Tariku Lako. Laura Dawn Dockenhausen.
Ahad Sayek. Anton Tai Nguyen. Matt Pogue. Emma Marie Mathewson. Annie Wang.
Matab Kazai.
Emit Tsuchimoto. Shio Takaji. Hannah Rayford. Espeda Villafana. Miriam Karina Osorio Gonzalez. Jose Armando Mariscal Cruz. Sean D. Smith. Reese Mack. Kyle Quach.
Rylan Kim.
Maddie Carpenter.
Matthew Dulski.
Abdiaziz Ali. Robel Haile.
Isaiah Alexander Boyd.
Mohammed A. Bosbeth.
Joetti Morrow. Maria Valentina Palacios Guzman.
Risa Adriana Barajas Avelos.
Rahel Merriam. Rebecca Alemu Makonnen.
Veronica Hiley. Christian Ebulet. Tara Benabid. Victoria Leonidivna Litvinchuk. Serena Lepanin.
Ali Swayze.
Sophia Fisher. Samrawit Barakat.
Xavier Anthony Perez.
Princess Bandulin Diniego. Elizabeth Anderson. Adrian Gervasi Saga. Daniela Antonio Hernandez.
Karen Patino. Ryan Seifert.
Sheila Jacqueline Anderson.
Elia Nila Ben Nun.
Miriam Bint Tulis. Keiko Soa.
Scott Corbett.
Jason Mattis.
Zhu Li Lin. Chuk Yan Lee.
Sydney Claire Sturer.
Desan Dalal.
Kanisha Mystery.
Elier Hung.
Sidway Ung.
Nanako Kubo.
Eric Kwok.
Tiffany Mai Vo.
Janelle Marie Boncato Tuble.
Sabrine Ibrahim. Wei Yu Chen. Ming Che Chung.
Stephen Ruan. Fuad Mohammed.
Kyla N. Costales.
Uriel Zakia Zakam.
Peyton Leanne Bradley.
Alana Lynn Winston. Boy Yuan Shen. Jordan Mackenzie Midkiff.
David Lee Din.
Ruo Chen Yang.
Riemann Kilani. Alianda Kayla Harris Kobina.
Nishan A. Memon.
Eric Hu.
Misako Sakurazawa.
Zamzam Ahmed Hassan.
Yilin Bai.
Zubin Huang.
Yuhang Xia.
Nicholas Robert Della Justina.
Lin Nguyen.
Adonai E. Keflaesis. Bethel Debeba.
Yara Maruf.
Jermaine Nye.
Arya Sheikh.
Alyssa Erin Apo Bohador. Ziqi Fu.
Guang Yi Zhang.
William Hole III. Stanislav Kalosha.
Pengel and Alondra Skylar Pengelin.
Malia Loren Capuno.
Nasra Mahad Mohammed. Helena Mola. Umema Khan Narejo. Dachuan Shan.
Naina Biswa. Li Yuan Liu.
Jenna Chongyin Shin. Uladisla Ustsiamchuk. Daniel Suh. Jessica Price Friedman.
Jodilyn DeLong Reyes.
Hekma Yassin.
Sabontu A. Ahmed.
Kenneth Mai Nguyen. Brandon Mock.
Justina Mi Thien Lee. Katerina Mayfa Leong Brinchwitz. Josephine Claire Hartono.
Eden Yuanshan Chung.
Brian M. Yee. Tom Ryan Novak. Sierra C. Waller.
Lauren Albanese. Alexandra Blaskovich. Aaron Brian Ellsworth. Jason Ali Estrada.
Wyatt Torger Olson.
Joseph Hayashi. Sana Fatima.
Satvir Kar.
Jiahui Su.
Jaron Zyle Abelyar.
Enijah Ward. Bachelor's candidates from the School of Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics.
Yusuf Beltaji.
Omar Navarez.
Ivy Rhoda Subil Lipasan.
Rivers Bryce Mueller.
Anna Belova Torres. Aaliyah Hurley.
Austin Din Tran.
Jacob Barger.
Leonardo Mota Villaraldo.
Estela Cruz Mendez.
Candace Timmons. Melanie Alexandra Palomino.
Madeline Hernandez.
Sam E.D. Ford.
Noor Ali Abdul Hamid. Justin Michael Hecht. Paul Allen Darling. Aaron Converse.
Bo Matthew Salvadalena.
Jessica R. Green.
Jeremiah Mayfield. Melissa Brianna Navarro.
Brandon Dwee Lee. Hannah Freyer. George P. Churavatur.
Paul White. Kevin Tang. Yanling Zhu. Kranti Podial. Vu Li Nguyen.
Christian Daniel Hansen.
Jasmine Singh.
Andrew Griggs Clark. Alexis Danielle Hartzell.
Beatrice B. Pedjan.
Hannah Marie Lim.
Taylor Reed.
Maribel Chavez Ortega.
Alex Neary.
Andrew Dakin.
Deli Berisha. James Archer.
Tim Denisiuk. Matthew Cho. Hemant Kalatul.
Wubet Tuwelda.
Hannah G. Hyundai. Fatuma Abdullahi.
Rachel Judith Wren.
Kevin Chen. L. Bai.
Jasmine Vu Nguyen.
Anton Galenko. Santiago Henao.
Caitlin Thompson.
Kwai Fan.
Lordwin Salinas Torrio. Katie Ki-Yen Nguyen.
Sandra Leanne Huey.
Rich Ralph. Christina Tay. Jessica Nguyen.
Alan T. Lai.
Alex T. Lai.
Effie Borath.
Stuart Mackey Strom. Jaden Kiefer Parsons. Preston James Parsons. Christina Fanicum.
Kevin Jia Lang Kwong.
Kayla Perez.
Andrew Mark Huelsdonk.
Shun Yu Yu. Nguyen Nguyen. Nikola Terboyevich. Paul Nam. Stephen Andrew Neighbors. Taylor J. Manoski. Justin Nguyen.
Nicole Elizabeth Guerrero. Leanne Ernst. Samira Abdulkrim Al-Samari. Brendan Hurt. Jacob Paul Balzati. Samuel Debasai. Michael Cho.
Malia Minch. Joanna Chu Un Tai.
Ashley De La Cruz. Isna Aftab. Rida Aftab.
Adelina Tawolda.
Rebecca Ejin Lee. Sayyide Hajar Embel. Divyashna Chandra.
Rahab Hani Nakor.
Sunny Dang Ho.
Brendan S. Weathers. Bryant H. Nguyen. Lauren Quinn Nguyen.
William Ho. Paul Jin Ho Han. Trevor Drew Barham.
Tyler David Miller. Nathan Miller.
Taylor Sage Johnston. Fatima Diallo.
Samantha Lynn Nearing.
Maria L. Eastgate. Zach Hanneman.
Sarah Wheely. Ashima Mehta. Auntie Nok Fan. Lynn Tran.
Rafael Gerald Perez Juco. Elijah Aaron Kunanen Leonin. Jeremy Gano Castillo.
Mark Anthony Sorvik.
Connor Wayne Goodman.
Victor Suchu. Kashane Rangdet. Jongwook Oh. Xingran Xiao. Wu Young Sun.
Mitchell Garrett Johnson. Thong H. Lee. Ryan Anders McDowell.
Nicholas Stager.
Aaron Bodenstab. Jay Lynn. Luca Chang. Kiernan Connolly.
Bill Zhao.
Isabel Heyer. Alexandra Era.
Rowan Ibrahim Mahfouz.
Aisha Altayar. Ani Avetian.
Adrian Unruh.
Gibran Ahmed. Vanshika Kumar.
Kevin Shu.
Kushal Kurswani. Nikhil Alapati. Chris Kim.
Joanna Stella Montoya.
Nazrawit Yosef Getachew.
Kelvin Weye Zheng.
Fong Li.
Farrell Aditya Putra. Tony Nguyen. Joshua Stewart Sterner.
Jong Sok Jong. Unmi Lee. Sungwon Lee. Sungjin Kwan.
Jonghyun Wan.
Matthew Bennett.
Nathan No. Tram T. Nguyen.
Chao Luen Fang. Catherine Gohar. Janelle Marie Doctor.
Derek Slater. Patrick Landon Miles. Andy Tran.
G.J. Chang. Temezgin Tesfalul Habta.
Jordan Quigtar. Micah David Rice. Yabsira Tekli.
Hiba Javed. Shin Yu Chin.
Melanie Ung.
Natasha Bianca Ashnawi. Romessa Azar Ahmed. Isabella Abad. Deidre Buchan.
Cami Ogden. Quinton Lee Wynn.
Lorik Ergemento.
Luis Carlos Cruz Reyes. Joaquin Luna Villagran.
Madhav Rajkondawar.
Srigar Reddy Dugampudi. Gurjapal Singh Brar.
Jose Palomera.
Victor Chong Lee.
Sahil Vazdev.
Lauren Schwen. Kaylee Tu Ni Konma.
Jarrett Michael Smith.
Vladislav Jason Kostyukevich. Michael Kilgore.
Tommy Nee. Anirudh Arun Prasad.
Abhay Sumbali.
Ishita Sharma. Amal Manohar.
Shakil Khan. Shubham Kamboj.
Nia Prabhu.
Ryan Anderson.
Bornha Borhani.
Kevin Blair.
Marco Laktich.
Justin Junhyuk Kim.
Sharday Thomas. Maya Tu. Chiamaka Faith Odo. Jasleen Kaur Pawar. Doina May Porte. Iman Razia Ranja.
Heather M. Ali. Zena Pergri. Iman Farouk.
Hao Win. Camille Woody. Cameron James Norris. Nicholas R. Wright.
Daniel Ahn.
Daniel Madrano. Zachary Ryland Pablo.
Morgan Glenn DuBois. Sean Lee. Debbie Alvarado Latino.
Ankuri Singhal. Grace Witten. Jessica Samolkin. I. Curato Sellers.
Nazaha Nur Bahati. Helena Hanny Azer. Keegan P. Leon. Sierra Goss. Ting Shun Chen.
Andre A. Zayats.
Michael A. Heinlein. Stephen Chow. Michelle Araiza.
Hui Ya Tran.
Bill Pham.
George Miguel Santos Alvarez.
Chi Shun Sun.
Huan Tong Ji. Lillian Kosecki.
Richard Eugene Ross, Jr. Colby Sampson. Jay Cuidado.
John Henshaw. Miles Arwin Charles Dalton. Ryan Tan Ho.
Elhaj Diallo.
Mason Harrison.
Matthew Sosa. Samantha Pierce.
Coral D. Ely. Corey Fujimoto.
Shane White.
Lawrence Fiesta.
Antone Milan Mashesha.
Francis Ho. Mason Kim.
Natalia Ustimchuk.
Afeni Ishak.
Daniel Marr.
Anna Elizabeth Kazanchev. Madison Dienhart. Dylan Deeg.
Jody Michelle Signer. Katie Anastasia Vishnis.
Sterling Gordon Fournier. Dayton Frederick. Heidi Nasser Gobriel. Shaylin Chen. Kendall Ann Johnson.
Shelby Zaragoza. Lisa Manovich. Wyatt Sellender.
Arden John Fernandez Farron.
Jean Sawacharon Chai.
Din Y. Liu.
Mustafa Sabir.
Grant Dempsey. Ian James Canoy. Cohen Hawkinson. Elizabeth Ayano Blue.
Jacqueline Rosa Monteza.
Gabriel Antonio Baje.
Emily Thompson.
Jeremy Robert Ash. Dylan Joseph Ash. Joshua Kutz.
Sage Walsh.
Yoel Gebri Hewitt. Tyler Kent.
Jason Singh Sembi.
Ashley Heather Manuel Lizada. Audrey Jesselyn Gunawan. Sarah Jean Leung. Julia Dang.
Gregory Gregorians.
Michael Zellinger.
Aram Antonian. Austin Keone Iona.
Elijah Fan.
Isaac Abraham.
Nick Shokri.
Injun Fan.
Nathan Fan.
Cedric Salcedo.
Ching Yen Chang. Roy Koch. Emilia Christine Jones. Michael Johnson.
Ni Nguyen. Nu Huynh Nguyen.
Christian C.T. Belknap. Brian Fortney.
Tyler Silva. Callie Russo.
Tanner J. Chu.
Kimsrun Sok.
Faisal Abdulaziz Al-Balushi.
Haley Reed. Lawrence Zephyr Reed. Christopher Powell. Hodan Abdurrahman Nurgedi. Lin Nguyen. Chana Khan Misanam. Charlie Nguyen.
Ian Dutter.
Ryan Russell.
Sean Stangler. Grace S. Nelson. Nicholas David Naisland.
Mason Brian Honold.
Nina Panganaban. Ethan Hidesato Yamashita. Dang M. Pham. Kiet New.
Christopher Bailey. Jia Liang Chen. Javier Cano Pedroza. Mohammed Rido Bahoudin. Ahmed Isam Faris. Mohammed Daba. Abdullah Dabeg. Jacob Hovland. Philip Kurtzman.
Ira Yago. Ayumi Oishi.
Trevor Leanne Brian Murphy. Sorry.
Hui Pham.
Joseph William Gerona. Ephraim M. Escades. Artem Ostapchuk. Sergei Andreevich Bakhrev. Ivan Christov. Gabriela Lenkov. Antoinette Calkins.
Eric W. Westman.
Daniel Lawrence.
Colin Nathaniel Mont.
Margaret C.T. Alexander.
Gabriel Martin Scott. Connor Peace. Bao Chao T. Tran. Vlad Niahai.
Jose M. Tapia Ruiz.
Stephen Sweetonic.
Najib Abdi. Abdul Razik Alahawad.
Ibrahim Mohammed. Eric Alex Trofimchik.
Evan Kyle Jensen.
Andy Huai Win.
Britton Bowie.
Jonathan Michael Phipps.
Andrew Coleman Phelps.
Nathan Sage Harshman.
Colin J. Cunley.
Mitchell Ray Jameson.
Nathan J. Young.
Kurt Kara. Joseph Albisuris.
Eli Paul. Daniel Kenneth Spray.
Mina Ferris. Weston Goggins. Benjamin Lynn.
Crane Nguyen. Quy Nguyen.
Vincent Lee.
Dui Vu.
Vincent Bowie.
Tong Ton. Maxwell Tai Trin.
Kelvin Cam.
Cyrus Safi.
Austin R. Clare.
Isabella Sylvie Soledad.
Wendy Flor Garcia Naranjo. Michael M. Charles.
Port Thorson. Melkina Worku.
Ridiat Bairu.
Mitiku Madeksa. Anale Sabi.
Ahmed Khan. Rodis Tesfai Gebrselassie.
Sky Tran. Harold Darnell Williams.
Emily Kim Hang. Brianna Chung Hang.
Fana Kidane Hadash. Yang Lee.
Hilana Eblahim.
Giovanni Azeri Hanane.
Victoria Simakova.
May Ellen Barbie. Scarlett Gusty Halima. Richard Guan.
Brian Adam Tejendra.
Poppy La. Zijun Huang.
Sonia Saravanan. An Huang Phuong Nguyen. Abraham Sham. Duncan Spaney.
Jae Ha Choi. Nicholas Fuchster.
Graduates, there is one last thing you have to do. With your family, friends, faculty, and staff as witnesses, you may now move your tassels from the right to the left. Congratulations. Class of 2022, you have now joined the classes of 2021 and 2020 as alumni of the University of Washington, Bothell. It's time to celebrate.
All right. Okay, here we go. All right, the 31st annual commencement ceremony of the University of Washington Bothell is hereby concluded. Congratulations to all of our new graduates.